Kenya Moore claims that the house that NeNe Leakes has built is in foreclosure because she wasn't making payments. And I believe after the last couple of seasons of Real Housewives of Atlanta, it's still in foreclosure.
Y'all already know what time it is. I got the black V-neck on.
So NeNe Leakes did a part 2 interview with Carlos King, the former producer of Real Housewives of Atlanta, and now Kenya Moore has did part 1 of her interview with Carlos King. And with all this information and the things that we have learned, I have some thoughts on the future of Real Housewives of Atlanta and where the show needs to go and all this. I feel like I'm doing this like honestly every 6 months, to be honest. Now, I believe 100% NeNe Leakes did build Real Housewives of Atlanta. If it wasn't for NeNe Leakes, Real Housewives of Atlanta probably wouldn't have like took off the way it did. NeNe Leakes is the most talked about housewife. I mean, she is literally in the African American Museum in DC. Like, she is the moment. Like, you know, it is what it is. Now, I do agree with Kenya Moore saying that the house was foreclosed on because NeNe Leakes wasn't making payments. We've seen NeNe Leakes in the reunion not give that fire and that energy that she did previous seasons. And it just slowly dwindled. She didn't want to be present. She didn't want to film. She just didn't want to be a part of the things. And it's just, she was just wore out. And I respect her for being tired because it is taxing recording and filming all of this stuff. But NeNe Leakes, you did kind of put the house in foreclosure. You were not making payments. And no shade, Kenya Moore and Kandi, they don't have the credit to be able to make the payments to keep the house out of foreclosure. Like, they can't. Kandi and Kenya cannot buy back the house. Like, even with their powers combined, they cannot summon Captain Planet. Like, they just cannot. I mean, we've seen that. Like, this, I think this season is one of the lowest rated seasons since the show has came on. And it's just not been good. I don't remember anything that's really exciting. The ensemble cast that Sheree is talking about does not exist. Yes, these ladies, you know, usually don't really care for each other, but it's not even moments where they're even vibing. The connections are so bad that the husbands are not even connected. Like, the argument that NeNe Leakes was the anchor of the show is legitimate. She is the anchor on the show. Like, she, you know, when you go back and watch old episodes, like I went back and watched some old episodes, the shit, like there was a party for Peter that Cynthia threw, and the shit didn't get popping until NeNe Leakes popped up. Like, she was the anchor. It was like, you know, NeNe Leakes, this is her shit. Like, period. Like, we want to know what NeNe Leakes thinks. She was that. And I think that, you know, NeNe Leakes, her comments on Kandi, you know, saying that she is not a star, she is the, you know, the side, whatever. I feel like that's completely honest. And I think Kandi is a little hurt by that because she feels though too. Kandi is talented. Kandi, don't take anything away from Kandi. She's a brilliant writer. She's a businesswoman. She knows her shit. She knows how to get to a bag. But also Kandi works so damn much. I don't even know if I want that bag. Like, girl, I need to have some free time. I want to be that damn busy. But Kandi Burruss, she is the anchor of the show, and it's adamant. I mean, it's evident she's not, because she's front and center holding the peach, and this is the worst season. It's not giving. Kandi is not even there. She's doing other things. We're not even seeing that. We don't care to see it. What makes Kandi is her family and some of her friends. That's what makes Kandi. Yes, Kandi is sex positive. She shows different sides. She's fun. But is she a standalone girl? No, she's not. And I don't feel like NeNe was being shady. I don't feel like she was being anything when she said that. I feel like she was just being completely honest. We've not seen, I don't think, to be honest, a show. The shows that Kandi have had that's just focused on her, I think those that got canceled or not renewed. Kandi is good when she's surrounded by other folks. That's why I agree with NeNe Leakes saying if she was to build a cast, the perfect cast for the celebration of it being how many years or whatever, then yes, bring Kandi. Like, bring her, because she is like a good side dish. Like, she's good. There's some foods that we eat, it's just like, girl, it tastes better when it's with something else. And that's not to say that Kandi is not talented, she's not entertaining, she just doesn't move us like that. She doesn't move us. And that's okay. Like, that's okay, but the fact that, you know, Kandi feels some type of way about that shit is hilarious to me. They did an interview, Kandi did an interview with Cynthia, and they were talking about it. Now, I don't know if I believe this conversation about Cynthia trying to get NeNe off the show. I think that NeNe probably, you know, heard Cynthia talking mess about her to folks and all the other stuff, and I don't think Cynthia had the power to get her off the show. I think she just didn't support her coming back. I think that's what it was. And NeNe Leakes is hurt by that. And I think she needs to let that hurt go. Now, the interview, NeNe Leakes looks amazing. It is quite fascinating to now see that there's a lawsuit from other housewives against Bravo alleging some of the stuff that NeNe Leakes was alleging. I feel like Bravo does owe NeNe Leakes a lot. They owe those black women a lot because Bravo was built on the backs of these black women and their stories. And we've seen networks do this before. Bring a black audience and start, you know, once they get the budget and start making profit off of it. Because y'all are underpaying black talent. Like, that's common. Like, black talent is underpaid. As someone who works in this industry, does some stuff, I am underpaid for some things. Some stuff I know they wouldn't come to other white creators with my following the same thing. We see that a lot. There's been conversations from like creators on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, how they do not get the same as the white creators. And I feel like NeNe Leakes saying that is the tea. Now, this claim that NeNe Leakes, you know, about she should be as popular as a Kim Kardashian. I think if NeNe Leakes was a white woman, she definitely would be way more popular than Kim Kardashian, because NeNe Leakes has to work twice as hard. She has to be twice as everything to get half of what a white woman would. That is very, very true. With Kim Kardashian being a white woman, the bar is already low. And she's a desirable white woman. Like, hello? Like, who is using black aesthetics and stuff to make herself more desirable? Like, yes, the bar is low. She doesn't have to really do anything, to be honest. When people try to say that NeNe Leakes is delusional for thinking that and all the other stuff, I don't feel like people see the anti-blackness in it, because definitely NeNe Leakes should be as known and as paid as someone like a Kim Kardashian. And I say what you want about NeNe Leakes and all the stuff that she's done or whatever. Yes, NeNe Leakes has done some stuff. She's been, quote unquote, combative, or whatever term you want to use to describe her, working with other folks. And so has other white folks. And so has other people. Like, NeNe Leakes made a good point saying, you know, everybody has done something, but I'm treated differently. And that's real. That's real. When NeNe Leakes talked about how much they was paid on their show, like, look how they worked Kenya. Kenya shared that she had filmed so much material and they didn't pay her. She had to tell them, if y'all film any more of my stuff, if I show up, y'all can't ask me to do anything else. I don't know if that was an ultimatum, but she was working. They ain't pay her, they ain't say nothing. Like, black women have to do that. They have to do that. Black folks have to do that. And with them being a black woman, it's going to be hard. Like, they had to band together to demand more money. So you don't think that NeNe Leakes experienced any racism? Like, that stuff is everywhere. Like, yes, we can say that NeNe Leakes, you know, she be having the tools, she be doing stuff, but I don't want to support that NeNe Leakes stopped her own bag, because the bag never really exists for black folks anyway. So the same bag was be given to a white woman for doing the same thing, or a white person. So, you know, so I don't want to say that NeNe Leakes stopped her own self and da-da-da. I don't think she's helped. I don't think she's helped it. But, you know, I don't think she was the sole reason why it was stopped. And we have to be honest about, like, folks who they speak out on some things, especially when it comes to racism and anti-blackness and, you know, the treatment, that we have to take that stuff serious, because if somebody is trying to silence somebody after speaking on it, and trying to blackball them, that is messed up. I don't think NeNe Leakes was necessarily probably blackballed like that. I think that she's a black woman and she's already underseen and unseen, so they're not going to spend any capital. Oh, like we definitely wasn't gonna give you anything, and seeing how you are acting, it's a no completely. So we can't say that NeNe Leakes has stopped her on bag. She's a black woman. The bag doesn't exist. Look at all of the things that we have heard from black creators and stuff, black female creators, and the things they've had to experience to get where they are at. It's ridiculous. Like, girl, like it's a mess. But I enjoyed NeNe's part 1, part 2. Thought it was really good. I watched Kenya and Carlos's interview the other day, and I feel like that, you know, Kenya was saying some really good stuff. It made me see her in a different light, made me appreciate her a little bit more. But I do think that, you know, Kenya, she does present a certain type of way on the show. I appreciate Carlos King for giving both of them their flowers and telling them things, but sometimes we come off like Carlos is performing. I'm saying this right here, like all these things, like it's no secret. Like it's so funny listening to him when he's giving them accolades and stuff and all these things. Raindrops, girl, let me tell y'all something. Girl, I'm all, oof, child. If I see one more damn commercial, one more shout out for them, for that damn merchandise, y'all wearing me thin with this merchandise, girl. Like, please stop selling merchandise. Like, y'all need to find another business model, because selling merchandise that's not gonna be worn for more than probably like a year and thrown in the garbage and it's more trash. I don't even sell merchandise like that. I don't even promote it. Yes, you can buy it, but you don't see me promoting, because I'm just like, buy all that stuff and folks end up throwing it away and giving, and we have to ship all this stuff to countries and stuff. Let them buy our trash. I just don't want to participate in that. And I know like merchandise is the best way to make profits, because you have this stuff like cheaply made. A shirt can cost you $5, you know, $7, $8 to put this stuff on, and these folks charging $30, $40 for it. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. But yes, I really enjoyed these interviews. I don't think I'm gonna be watching part 2 of Kenya Moore's interview, because I don't feel like there's nothing else I want to know. Kenya, you know, she did a good job, but I don't think it was fiery. I don't think the chemistry was as good as it was with NeNe Leakes. Like, NeNe Leakes, her visibility from that interview, like all the views and stuff, is a testament to how strong and how entertaining she is. Her interview has almost 1 million views. Kenya Moore's interview has the same amount of views as the commercial trailer for NeNe's like interview. Not saying that Kenya Moore isn't good, isn't entertaining. She's just not the moment like NeNe Leakes is. And that's very evident. Like, I think it was like 12 hours. I think the video had like 50-something thousand views. I was like, oh girl. Like, it's just not giving. And y'all are side characters. Y'all are side characters. I ain't seen, this is not really no star. To be honest, I don't think she was being shady when she said that. Like, some girls do good in a group setting. What else was it? I think that's about it that I see that I wanted to talk about from watching these interviews and thinking about Real Housewives of Atlanta. I think what needs to happen for Housewives of Atlanta, it just needs to be a complete reboot at this point. Maybe keep probably 1 or 2 people, but it just needs to be completely gutted, because it's just not giving. It's gonna be worse and worse every season. Like this season, and how I see the trips are being taken, they're very short. The camera crew is not filming everything like they used to. A lot of them are having to set cameras up to record stuff. It's just not going. It's not working. It's not clicking. And the storylines is no cohesiveness. It's like we always have to do a flashback or something to support the story, because we don't remember it. We don't remember it. Like, the flashback's supposed to add seasoning. Y'all using the flashbacks because there's no story making us remember that shit. Like, it's just not that good. Like, the season is just not that good. It just is what it is. So we're gonna find us another show, girl. That's why I've stopped reviewing Housewives of Atlanta on YouTube. I don't do it for Patreon. So if you're interested in watching it, definitely check it out on Patreon. I have some other thoughts on some other stuff I'm gonna save for a later video because I got some other errands and stuff to run. So y'all tell me what y'all thought about the interview with Kenya Moore and part 2 of NeNe Leakes' interview with Carlos King in the comments, and I'll talk y'all later. Bye.